The ritual on the red moon. It was one of those full moon nights. Skook. This sky was filled with the silvery glow of the moon, and the whole world seemed to be bathed in its ethereal light. But this was no ordinary moon. This was a blood moon, also known as a total lunar eclipse, Toa. And tonight was special, ton. The veil between the worlds was at its thinnest, and the spirits were said to be at their most restless. I was home alone. My husband was away on a business trip, and my 2 kids were spending the night at their friend S' house. The house was quiet, and the only sound I could hear was the wind howling outside. Suddenly, I heard a knock on the door, but it wasn't the sound of someone knocking. It was something else, something sinister. Curiosity got the better of me, and I went to the front door to see who was there. I peered through the peephole and saw a group of children standing on my porch. They were dressed in robes, and their faces were painted with eerie masks. I didn't recognize them, and I certainly didn't recognize their leader. He was tall and thin with a sharp nose and eyes that seemed to pierce through the very core of my being. Before I could react, the leader raised his hand and pointed to the moon. Don. Join us, he said, his voice echoing in my ears. Join us, and we shall show you the true meaning of the red moon. Before I could even think of a response, they were gone. I looked back at the peephole and saw that they had vanished into thin air. Tried to shake off the encounter as a figment of my imagination, but something was off. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Then I saw it, a single red rose lying on my doorstep. Cuddles were soft and velvety, and its thorns were sharp and real. As I reached out to touch it, a voice whispered in my ear, "Do not be afraid." Startled, I pulled my hand back, and that's when I noticed the card attached to the rose. It simply said, "Meet us at the crossroads under the red moon." My heart was pounding in my chest and my hands were shaking, but I couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. I knew that if I didn't do what the notes said, something terrible would happen. As the night wore on, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Every creak of the house, every rustle of the wind outside, sent shivers down my spine. Finally, I decided to go to the crossroads under the red moon. I dressed in all black and put a black cloth over my head so that my face was hidden. I walked for what felt like hours, and the whole time I could feel the presence of the man with the piercing gaze. At the crossroads, I saw a pentagram drawn in chalk and a fire burning in its center. And there they were, the children in their robes, chanting in unison. When they saw me, they stopped chanting and turned to face me. The leader stepped forward and beckoned me to join them, too. As I stepped into the circle, I felt a surge of power and the world around me began to spin, too. And that's when I saw it. The true horror of the red moon. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a like and comment below with your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying tales.